Hi, I'm Graham. Welcome back to Man vs Film, and this is a Blu-ray review for number 40 in the slasher classic series from 88 Films, which is of course Student Bodies. Now, in the early 80s, as slashers became more and more prominent, there was a few comedy horrors that came out at the same time. There was Saturday the 14th, there was Student Bodies, there was Class Reunion, National Lampoon's Class Reunion, which is a personal favourite of mine. I've seen that movie loads of times. I just love it. I want a super fancy release of that if anybody is listening at all. Student Bodies was one that I'd seen a couple of times, but it never really stuck in my mind. I knew it was way better than Saturday the 14th, and it was far more loving look at slasher movies. You go back to the movie now, and it's all about the main character of Toby, this girl who is the typical high school virgin, terrified of sex. You have this killer, the breather, who is killing anyone that even attempts to have sex in horrific ways. Says on the cover as well, 13.5 murders, and that is very true. This is a movie where the story is important to a point, but it's all about poking fun at the tropes of typical slasher movies. We have our main characters, our stereotypes that are going to get taken out one by one, and there is murders every couple of minutes that aren't graphic. They're done in comedic ways because it is primarily a comedy movie. This is the type of movie you want a group of friends that are all into slashers to sit down and really watch. And it has written comments on the screen as it goes through. It'll come up and say 1 victim, 2 victim, clue with an arrow pointing to it, suspect, things like that, just to sort of hammer home the ridiculousness of some of the way the things are played. All the actors play it straight. Nobody here is a comedic actor at all, and that kind of adds credence to the fact of the ridiculousness that's going on here. And I really did appreciate Student Bodies watching it this time around. I felt that the movie's pretty good. It's a pretty decent slasher. You take out the jokey deaths and replace it with something a little bit more bloody and gory, and you have atypical horror of the times. It really does play on the beats, the tropes, the typical nature of these slashers at that time, where I think it very much differs from, say, Saturday the 14th, because it plays in the playground. It doesn't really border on parody. It's more loving homage to that kind of genre, the genre that we all love, slasher movies. And I feel that this one, which is off-putting, it does put you in the back step. It doesn't do anything particularly flashy. It just does all the basics and does them well, and it really does revel in the tropes of slasher movies, which I think is fantastic. I think it's one of the things that I've really enjoyed about going through this movie. This is number 40 in the slasher classics, like I said. Came out in 1981. On the first pressing, you get this slip cover with it, and you get a booklet inside with writing about how wonderful the movie is. And I do feel this is one of these movies that people kind of gloss over. I don't give it the credit that it's due. It was probably most akin to Scary Movie back at the time. Scary Movie feels almost like an updated version of Student Bodies, where the actors are playing it straight, most of them, and it's picking on tropes of a franchise or a genre that the makers genuinely love at some point. The inclusion of the breather, there is some ridiculously funny moments in it, which I haven't spoke about the humour. Some of it does hold up, some of it is a little bit dated, but it's a movie from 81. Things are going to be dated. Some of the humour is rather risky, rather fun, and still laugh out loud funny today. If you're a slasher fan, if you're a fan of this series, you probably picked this up. If not, and you want to try something that's a little bit different from this era, and you like the horror movies from this era, particularly slashers, this one has got a lot to offer you, and I would highly recommend it. It's a great deal of fun with Student Bodies. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comment box below. And you know what? I'm just curious. Anybody else seen National Lampoon's Class Reunion? What do you think of that? I think I would fit perfectly nice next to this on my shelf. So there we have it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time on Man vs Film.